What's up guys, Mike here, and as we all know, Joel Embiid is no stranger to beefs. I mean, in recent years, NBA legends have said that the NBA has become too buddy-buddy, but Joel Embiid is definitely not buddying up with anyone. In fact, he's out here starting real fights, usually on Twitter and Instagram, that turn into actual fights on NBA courts. So in this video, we are going to look at the 4 biggest beefs that Joel Embiid has in the NBA today, and I've got to say, I think you guys are really going to enjoy this drop. So if you do enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like, make sure to subscribe and turn notifications on, and let's jump into this. Number 4, Hassan Whiteside. The feud between these two giants started when in a preseason game in 2017, Embiid and Whiteside were trash talking to each other constantly, and despite Embiid saying he, quote, couldn't be guarded, Whiteside actually held him to 1 for 7 shooting. This was quickly acknowledged by Hassan Whiteside on Twitter when a fan pointed this out. At Joel Embiid, you funny saying someone can't guard you when you're 1 for 7. Respect at young Whiteside. Honestly, not sure how young he really is, but Whiteside responded with, funny how y'all don't show me telling him the same and 1 for 7 shooting, or the first 2 flops, I mean blocks. LOL, y'all fanboys, I swear. Embiid responded only 5 minutes later, and even threw in a personal jab on how he only cares about his stats and not team success. Dude, they had to take your ass out or you would have fouled out in 5 minutes. And we're talking about preseason, not regular season.
We talking about
preseason,
not a game. We talking about
preseason. And keep caring about stats and not your team success. Your plus minus was ass. Hashtag softy. Amazing that Joel Embiid is using plus minus as an argument here. That's just incredible. Whiteside would respond by saying Embiid had only played 31 games in 3 years up to that point. A valid response. And then Embiid made a final statement on Instagram, throwing shade and tagging his location as Whiteside. From there, the two would go back and forth throughout the season until, of course, they would match up in the first round of the 2018 NBA playoffs. This was an intense duel, and although Embiid did average 5 turnovers a game during the series, the 76ers would go on to an easy series win, with Riley saying, by the time we got to the playoffs, I don't think Whiteside was ready. He wasn't in great shape. He wasn't fully conditioned for a playoff battle mentally. He and we got our heads handed to us. So it sounds like Joel Embiid won this battle. He might have even got in Whiteside's head here, and although ultimately the fireworks have cooled down a bit in the last year or so, the last time they faced off, Embiid put up 35 points and 18 rebounds, and he holds a current 6-2 career record in matchups against Whiteside. So again, it's obvious who won this feud. Number 3, Andre Drummond. The beef between Embiid and Drummond started on October 23rd, 2017, when the Detroit Pistons were playing the 76ers, and Embiid scored a relatively easy 30 points, mostly on Andre Drummond. Now, how was Embiid able to accomplish this feat? As the man himself would say, quote, defensively, he doesn't play any defense. Drummond caught wind of this quick and responded to Embiid on Twitter saying, see you on December 2nd, with a kind of interesting emoji. The two would continue to go back and forth before December 2nd, with Embiid saying, no disrespect, but he can't shoot. So I just have to worry about the defensive coverages that we have as a team. Meanwhile, Drummond would reply, quote, I mean, you can't really have a conversation with a man who can't play a back-to-back, which might be the reason why Kawhi Leonard is so quiet. In the next matchup, however, it was again the 76ers who once again came out with a victory behind Joel Embiid's 25 points and 10 rebounds. To be fair, Drummond was more than respectable with 14 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists, and 5 steals, but he also fouled out of this game, which meant the feud was not over. The next season, after a 133-132 overtime thriller in which the Pistons came out on top, Joel would respond quickly saying, quote,
but like I said, I feel like I own a lot of where that stadium is at.
The same reporter Embiid said this to then went into the Pistons locker room to get Drummond involved in the drama. A very high school-like move, honestly, but Drummond would respond by saying he'll take the win and call Joel Embiid an Emmy award-winning actor, which, as we all know, is a pretty big shot because the best actors win Oscars. Moving on, enter domination. Not even 2 weeks later, the two teams would face off again, and this time, there's no way around it. Joel Embiid manhandled Andre Drummond. He dropped 39 points, had 17 rebounds, and held Drummond to just 8 points and called Drummond a bum, finishing Andre off with a Twitter post that would get over 78,000 likes. This post said, I own a lot of real estate in Andre Drummond Drummond's head, and I'm on my way to build more. Drummond could only resort to calling Embiid fat and out of shape, which was pretty lame, but the stats don't lie. In the 6 times they faced off against each other, Embiid has a 5-1 record and has averaged 29 points and 10.7 rebounds, while Drummond only has 13.5 points per game. They will match up again if both are healthy for the first time in over a year on December 23rd, so let's get the popcorn ready. Number 2. Russell Westbrook. Joel Embiid and Russell Westbrook have only played against each other 4 times total, but so far, this is already an explosive feud. In his much anticipated first NBA game ever, Joel Embiid would actually play against Russell Westbrook, and this was a back and forth battle in which the Thunder ultimately won, although the drama was more focused on a fan getting kicked out for extending 2 middle fingers at Russell Westbrook. Also, rapper designer got booed off the court at halftime. Focusing on the drama between Joel Embiid and Russell Westbrook, however, on December 15th, 2017, the two would face off again, and this time Joel Embiid was dominant against the Westbrook-led Thunder with 34 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists. This was a back and forth matchup in one of the most spectacular games of the year, and even had LeBron astounded with him saying, "Man, this game is nuts." Yet again, sounding completely like the dad that he is. The funny thing was, I was actually at this game, and Steven Adams fouled out of the game, and Joel Embiid would wave goodbye to him, as I'm not gonna lie, Steven Adams walked about 2 feet next to me into the locker room. He did not seem happy. Neither did Joel Embiid when Russell Westbrook waved goodbye to him after the Thunder won. Then in their next matchup, Westbrook would win again after staring down Embiid as time expired, and then in January of this year, this beef would finally reach new levels of saltiness, aka it became jerky. As with over 1 minute and 30 seconds left on January 19th, 2019, with the Thunder up by 2 points, Russ was driving to the basket when Embiid bulldozed into Westbrook and catapulted him under the basket. Now, at first glance, this seems like a dirty play by Joel, but if you look very closely, Russ did hesitate right before Embiid went into the air, so I guess this makes the verdict on this play a little more murky. Regardless, the Thunder would again go on to win, giving Westbrook a 4-0 all-time record against Joel Embiid, and when Russ was asked after the game if him and Joel were cool,
You guys are cool?
of course, Joel would have a response too, saying,
I don't know why he was mad. I have no idea, but he's always in his feelings.
the two are unquestionably 2 of the most passionate players in the entire league, so it's pretty predictable that they might not get along, but what's insane is that they have only played against each other 4 times so far, and I've got to say, out of all of the beefs on this list, I think this one has the potential to go to the next level. I think we are going to see some fireworks in the near future. And number 1, Karl-Anthony Towns. It is no secret that the Embiid/Cat beef exploded onto the NBA scene this past month like never before, when they literally got into a fight on the court, and again, somehow, I was at this game. I've been to 4 76ers games in the last 3 years, and I've been to 2 of the games on this list. I guess I got lucky, but the Embiid and Cat beef did not start with this fight, because on December 12th, 2017, the 76ers defeated Minnesota behind Embiid's 28 points, 12 rebounds, and 8 assists, and Embiid even capped off this game with a memorable Euro step past Karl-Anthony Towns, which of course, knowing Joel, he posted a picture of on Instagram, and the two had this exchange. Joel, Euro stepping our way through Minnesota, and we ended up raising the Cat last night, which I don't know, I don't think that was the greatest, but Cat seemed to agree, saying the caption was as trash as your picture quality, and then Joel said better quality than your defense. A pretty big dig, seeing as at the time Karl-Anthony Towns was known as being a horrible defender, even though he has improved a bit, and some say that it is because of this Instagram post that he has improved. So with that in mind, going back to the game this season, you could see that throughout the game there was a lot of tension between Joel Embiid and Karl-Anthony Towns, and finally that tension escalated to the point where, well, this happened.
Wow, and look at this, whoa! Embiid going at it with Karl-Anthony Towns.
Not to mention that Ben Simmons turned into a WWE star and put Cat in a sleeper hold and was somehow not suspended, but I get this, I guess. Ben Simmons is supposedly close with Karl-Anthony Towns and was just trying to stop the fight. I don't know if this was the most appropriate way, but if Cat believes him, then I do too. And while the actual fight was intense here, the aftermath is what really turned this into one of the ugliest beefs in the league today. Cat's mom was actually actually at this game and gave Joel Embiid 2 middle fingers. Embiid called Cat a cat again. I just don't know why that's such an insult. Cat posted a series of pictures on Instagram saying, with a picture of Embiid crying. And then Embiid responded in the comments insinuating he had personal information on Cat and that Embiid owns him. The thing is though, it's hard to pinpoint exactly when this feud escalated, seeing as the two were at one point friends. However, just like the Russell Westbrook beef, I do not think this one is over. I think we have a lot of drama left in front of us, and I've got to say, I'm here for it. I love when NBA players get into feuds like this because people say this is a buddy-buddy league now. Well, Joel Embiid is the complete exception to that rule. There we have it, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, make sure to leave a like, make sure to turn notifications on, and if you're already subscribed, thank you so much for supporting. You're awesome. We all know it, and as always, have an awesome day, and cue that music. By the way, if you're still here while the music is cued, here are 2 videos I think you are going to love watching. All you have to do is just click on either one of them on the screen right here, and other than that, guys, again, have a great day, and peace.